Tonight at 11, an ordinary day at school turns to horror.
I thought I was gonna die.
That's when I actually realized it's real, that it's actually happening here.
2 students and 2 teachers dead, with 9 others sent to the hospital after a mass shooting at Apalachee High School in Barrow County.
This is everybody's worst nightmare.
My heart hurts for these kids. My heart hurts for our community.
Right now, we're learning more about the victims and the history of the 14-year-old suspect. Our live team coverage starts now. Good evening, and thank you for being with us. I'm Jennifer Bellamy. Heavy hearts tonight in Barrow County, where just in the last 2 hours, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation identified the 4 victims killed in a shooting at Apalachee High School in Winder. 2 of the victims are educators, 39-year-old Richard Aspinwall and 53-year-old Christina Irimi. The other 2 victims, students, 14-year-olds Christian Anguilo and 14-year-old Mason Schermerhorn. A tragic situation leaving so many questions tonight. Our 11 Alive team is tracking every angle for you, and we are beginning with Ron Jones on the ground right now from Apalachee High School. Ron.
Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. I would say about an hour and a half ago, and you heard this, we had a press conference. You heard from the GBI. The FBI was here as well, trying to support the family members, trying to support the students, giving out more information. We're going to learn a whole lot more about the victims that you just pointed out, and also we're going to learn about the suspect as well. New details tonight. But what was interesting during that press conference is Governor Brian Kemp showed up, and he talked about his connection to this high school and this community.
This hits home for us. Being from Athens, just down the road, Marty and I having a daughter that taught first grade just a few years ago. You know, I represented Barrow County when I was in the state senate 20 years ago. These are our neighbors, these are our friends, and this community is hurting today.
Absolutely hurting today. They're still trying to wrap their minds around all of this. And tonight we're learning more about the alleged shooter, 14-year-old Colt Gray. Our very own Cody Alcorn has more on the suspect for us tonight. And Cody, you've actually had an opportunity to speak with some of the neighbors as well.
Ron, that's right. I'm here at the home where he lived with his father and 2 younger siblings. This house right here along Harrison Mill Road is only about 6 miles from Apalachee High School. Now, until today, the neighbor directly across the street never even knew a teenager lived at this home, only seen his 2 younger siblings around, but never Colt Gray until this morning. Christine Ridings tells me she saw the young lady who was always out here at the bus stop waiting for the Apalachee High School bus. This morning, she noticed another teen next to this young girl, who this Christine Ridings says she's never seen before.
He had on jeans, a dark or black zip-up hoodie with the hood up, and a black backpack. I don't know. I just felt odd. So hours later, this starts unfolding, and then my grandson sends me a picture that's one of the students at Apalachee snapped of the shooter when he had his gun in his hand, and he said, "Gigi, is this who you saw?" And that was the boy. And that's terrifying.
Now, the ATF and the FBI have left this home tonight, but listen to this. Just hours ago, the FBI confirming Colt Gray was flagged by their National Threat Operations Center last year, accused of making online threats tied to shooting up a high school. The FBI says the Jackson County Sheriff's Office tracked those threats down to Colt Gray. They went to his home, spoke to his father and to Colt as well. Now, his father told them these were his hunting guns and that Colt never had unsupervised access to these guns. Colt also denying making those threats online. But here we are, 1 year and 4 months later. Colt Gray is accused of shooting up a high school just 10 minutes from his home.
You know, an alarming revelation in this investigation. It makes you wonder, Cody, could this have been prevented in any way at all? So you spoke with the suspect's family. What are they saying?
Yeah, after the ATF left here, I actually walked up to Colt's dad, tried to speak to him about all of this, but he did not want to talk. Now, I talked to Christine Ridings, as you saw in that interview. She actually went over here because she says that Colt's dad and his two younger siblings were outside this home for hours as the ATF served and executed a search warrant inside, gathering all of the evidence the FBI talked about during that 9 p.m. news conference. She felt sorry for those kids, went there and offered them some food, and she says Colt's dad was very polite the first time she'd spoke to him, saying he just seemed kind of dazed, confused, and really just in shock. I did ask about a mother to these kids, and I'm told that it appears the dad here has sole custody of these 3 children, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions about what the FBI is confirming tonight relating to that threat they tracked down in 2023. Live in Bethlehem, Cody Alcorn, 11 Alive News.
And Cody, we should be learning a lot more in the coming days and weeks as well. By the way, we also want to clarify something. The GBI is issuing a very important clarification regarding the suspect, 14-year-old Colt Gray. So the agency says reports of any involvement by a student by a similar name, Colton Gray, that is actually spelled with a K, are inaccurate. That student, Colton, with a K, was not involved at all. So we just want to make sure that you understand that. The GBI is putting that out. 11 Alive's Joel Ripley is just down the road from where I'm standing with another view of the scene, still fresh in the minds of students and teachers at Apalachee High School here. So Joel, you're learning a little bit more about the lives lost today, right?
That's right, Ron. Among those killed, 2 teachers and 2 students, just 14 years old. In honor of their lives and memory, memorials on different points of Apalachee High School's campus continue to grow, and it's a school now forever marked by what happened here today. Flags at half-staff in honor of those lost. Students from other school districts stress the danger felt.
It could happen to any one of us. We don't know if our safety is guaranteed at school anymore.
Nothing felt like real in that moment. It almost felt like normal in a way.
But the crime scene tape outside Apalachee High School in Winder shows everything wasn't normal. This student was in the same math class as the 14-year-old officials say shot 4 people dead and injured 9 others. The GBI says 2 students and 2 teachers were killed, including Christina Aramy and Richard Aspinwall.
He was a well-respected individual. He meant a lot to this community, a lot to the athletic programs that we have at our institution. So he'll be sorely missed, and it's hard to replace someone like that.
This teacher, just doors down from where the shooting happened, calls Aspinwall someone who cared a lot about his students. He also says the school trains for these types of scenarios.
This is everybody's worst nightmare.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, flanked by law enforcement who responded to one of the worst mass shootings inside a Georgia school.
Those that are deceased are heroes in my book. Those that are in the hospital recovering right now are heroes in my book. The protocols that this school and this system activated today prevented this from being a much larger tragedy than what we had here today.
And fortunately, it was not a larger tragedy. Emotions have run the gamut throughout the day, from simply stunned to overwhelmed. We understand law enforcement are going to stay on scene collecting evidence here at Apalachee High School throughout the night and well into tomorrow. Ron?
Okay, thanks a lot, Joe. And as you pointed that out, law enforcement is still here right now. They even set up a fence to make sure that they can continue to process the scene. All right, there's a lot of community members that are trying to process all of this. Let's get straight to Angelina Salcido. She's live tonight where there.
And Ron, it really is hard to process the emotions that were felt out here tonight as this community in Winder tries to process the news that 4 lives were taken today in this tragedy. Now, here tonight, there were high school students that were inside of the school. They heard those shots ringing out, desperately texted their parents, trying to get some help. Their parents also here tonight, holding on to their kids, knowing that they are just lucky that they are still alive. This park here, just 15 minutes away from where this shooting happened, has become their safe space. People still coming here to put flowers tonight as this memorial grows. This area is their place to reflect and to grieve.
On our hearts, there ought to be all those kids, all the students, and all the faculty.
prayer through tragedy. The Winder community holds one another after the unthinkable.
Some of you are feeling confusion. Some of you are feeling anger.
And I saw an ambulance after ambulance, and it's just, I thought to myself this morning, I was like, God, I hope it's not a shooting.
But it was. 2 teachers and 2 students shot and killed at Apalachee High School after the GBI says a 14-year-old student opened gunfire with an AR-style rifle.
We have a group chat. Everybody was saying, y'all okay, y'all okay?
When they first announced it on the intercom, my teacher immediately said, everyone get in the corner.
A video from inside the school shows kids being evacuated knowing one of their teachers was dead, a gun nearby.
I can't believe it, cause literally yesterday I saw them and I can't believe them, they just died like that.
My son was texting me while I was at work and I rushed to the school and got in there and I've been with him ever since.
Tonight, parents are still hugging their kids as reality sets in.
It could have been me, and I'm just thankful that I'm here, and I'm sorry for all the families that did lose their babies.
Through prayer and love, the Winder community lifts one another.
Tonight seems dark to many, but mercy comes with the morning sun.
Now, tomorrow will be a new day, but this tragedy, of course, does not go away for this community as they continue to try and process what happened just hours ago. They will do this together. They are now a part of a group that they say they do not want to be a part of. They have now experienced what several other communities in the United States have experienced, losing some kids as they went to school to learn and some teachers as well. They're going to continue supporting one another and they'll get through this together. Ron?
Okay, thanks a lot, Angelina. And unfortunately, these young kids should not have to go through what they went through today. And we just pray for those who did survive. Now, there are a lot of folks who are in the hospital right now. There are several people in the hospital right now. We're going to talk a little bit about that on the other side of the break. But first, let's toss it back to Jennifer with more news.
Ron, thank you. And we are working to verify claims spreading online about the shooting at Apalachee High School. The first, did the high school receive a phone call warning that there would be a shooting at Apalachee and several surrounding schools? The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says there was a call to another high school in the area. Police investigated that call, and the GBI says officers determined there was no threat. So there was a call, but it was not a warning for Apalachee. We have more breaking news coverage ahead for you, but we're learning more minute by minute. You can follow our coverage right now on 11alive.com or inside our 11 Alive news app.